Welcome to Caribbean Mystics Podcast,
where we marry mysticism, superstition, and lore. I'm your host, Paulina.
And I'm your host, Gabrielle, and we are your resident Caribbean mystics.
Join us today as we explore the depths of real supernatural stories
told by real people located right in our very own backyard.
Hey everyone, welcome. This is our final chat with you guys that we've been doing, I guess, kind of seasonal thing we started. And you know what? Gabby really liked it. I liked it. So we decided at the end of every season, we kind of do a little wrap up and chat with all you and tell you what's going on with our lives, what's going on with the podcast, what's going on in the future. And yeah, this is Paulina, by the way.
Hey guys, this is Gabrielle, and I am so happy that we were able to do season 3. And I'm also, to be honest, super happy that we get a little break because this season I feel like we were running and racing to get stuff out.
Yeah.
And it was a joy, and we had amazing seasons, and I feel like we connected with you guys more this season than we ever have before. And that felt really, really good and nourishing because we're trying to build a community, you know? It's not just Paulina and I coming in here to hot up our you head every week, but we also want to be able to have like dialogue and engagement and feedback. And I think that Paulina and I really stepped it up this season with that. So
I think so too. And I can tell we're kind of creating this creepy Caribbean community amongst through our Patreon, our socials. We see our comments. We're trying our best to reply to everybody. We got Vanessa helping us out with socials. And overall, just like Gabby said, the show is not just to listen to us, but also to create a platform for Caribbean people that have a heart in the Caribbean, all Caribbean stuff having to do with the mystical and magical. It's a platform for you guys to talk. As some of our storytellers have told us, my daughter is playing with blocks right now. As some of our storytellers have told us, also it's a way to vent and kind of create closure for some of these crazy experiences that they've been through. So this episode, our talk, we're going to go over just kind of like free flow, everything that we've done this season and some things to come, and mention some of our comments and fan mail.
yeah, I really enjoyed this season for a lot of reasons. One, I think that we really got to delve into some more nuanced topics. I feel like conversations this season that were particularly challenging, and I really appreciate that because I think that when we have challenging discourse, we get to challenge our own inner belief systems, and perspectives that we might be carrying, especially where I think that sometimes we carry a lot of bigotry that we don't see until you kind of have to peel back the layers and you're like, oh wow, you know? And I feel like this season was one that challenged us in that way. I will also say that I feel like we were able to branch out further into the Caribbean, which makes me very happy because we finally living up to our name. And that was
Yeah.
nice.
Not just Virgin Islands mystics.
Correct. So now we're actually Caribbean mystics because we've transcended the great horizons.
Yeah. I've actually found what's been really cool for me personally is because I started kind of like my social media journey as like diving into this and including, our podcast as well in my stories and my posts and my content, and meeting people that have listened to our show and then come on TikTok or Instagram. They're like, I love that you're doing this. I had one girl comment that was like, from one offbeat Caribbean girl to another, like, I'm so happy you're out here, like telling these stories and things. And it made me feel good because it's like, I personally always lived with this stigma or this feeling, this untrue story, like, hey, I'm such an outcast, whatever, like I'm not like the others, I'm different, whatever. And this podcast did a lot of healing with that because I felt like I've been connecting more with not just Caribbean people and Virgin Islanders and magic, but just overall finding people that are on the same thread.
For sure. I think that one of the amazing parts about exploring Caribbean culture and history is that one of the ongoing conversations that we'll always have is about belonging and identity, and about how much of the stories are so interconnected with other Caribbean islands, while other stories are so unique to the place that they're in for their own cultural reasons and
Mhm.
historical reasons. And I think that Caribbean mystics allows me to settle in more to my feeling of belonging to this region of the world. And I was telling Paulina, like, and I want to say I said this to you right before we began season 3, but Caribbean mystics for me feels like an offering to the ancestors. It feels like a thank you, and it feels like an ongoing um love, like as we have been given the oral tradition of our elders, we also get to memorialize them in perpetuity with digitizing their stories. And it feels like a obligation, when we talk about like accountability to the dead, this is what that looks like. It's, enshrining stories so that way people can come listen. They can have relatability to the storylines, but
Mhm.
also I hope that it poses as a reminder of the people that came before us whose love transcended death in the stories that have been passed down.
Mhm. I love that. I'm glad that we are doing it because I think it's leading us down an interesting path. And this kind of like leads me to the next subject we kind of wanted to talk about too is like where this podcast is going. Um, we've been offered to be part of a network. We're still like looking it over, because we're still small independents and we want to see our options. And we might go with them. I think we're also going to be pitching to some other networks because
Yeah.
I really believe in us. I think
Hmm.
that we have a really good thing going on, and it's fascinating, it's interesting, it's educational, and it's
Yeah.
entertaining as well. But yeah, I think our podcast is gonna go far, so we're starting to expand our wings and possibly work with other people.
I think we've been getting a lot of attention from people that are not inherently connected to the Caribbean, but are very well connected. And so we have like I think some exciting meetings that we have coming up that I think may change our lives and maybe even our potential thoughts around the trajectory of the podcast. But one thing that I know is for certain and that I could promise you guys is that Paulina and I are very invested in ensuring that the podcast remains free. And we are also deeply invested in ensuring that we create something that is integrity driven and not exploitative.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, I think
whatever
that's at the top.
opportunities, yeah, whatever opportunities we pursue will always be what we feel is the most loving to our Caribbean community, and then to the people that choose to listen to Caribbean Mystics podcast. So accessibility is very important to us and integrity.
One thing we're also gonna be working on is some visuals. I know in the
Mm,
beginning of the season, we were like, "Hey, we got our YouTube," and I think we thought we could do it all. Hold on.
mhm. Patreon kicked my ass.
You're doing
Like,
amazing on it. You
Patreon
are
let me
like a
tell
pro.
you, Patreon kicked my ass because I have no regrets. Really wanted you guys to get a really beautiful, well-rounded Patreon experience, and loved every moment of it. And it also took a lot of effort. And so another reason why I'm deeply grateful for Vanessa, because I could not keep up with Patreon and keep up with all of the social media stuff as well. And so I think Vanessa came in at the right time. And she's also, what really makes me appreciate Vanessa so much is she literally reached out to Paulina and I last week and was like, "Hey, I know you guys are wrapping up this season, but I'm still here in off season to help with social media and with whatever work you guys need help with." And I think that that speaks so much about Vanessa and who she is.
Mhm,
Um, and so I just wanted to like shout her out again that we could not expand into Patreon. And honestly, guys, the Patreon has changed the game for Paulina and I because we now have money coming in that allows us to take some of the financial burden of the podcast off our backs sometimes the time commitment could be a lot, but the time commitment coupled with the financial burden without there being a reprieve, I think I could see how some creatives get burnt out very quickly.
Mhm.
And so I'm very deeply grateful for our Patreon community and its continued growth. So if you guys sign up for the Patreon yet, I 10 out of 10 recommend because we're going to continue to post content on Patreon, including stories that we've collected. I am releasing a message to my Patreoners that's actually going to come out this Thursday when this episode drops, just explaining that we are going to take a month off because I need to recalibrate my mind and my brain. But we'll be back in December to continue putting content on the page and continue to engage with you guys because I don't want to lose out the community that we've really built um, on on the platform.
Yeah, I think also our Patreon, we're most likely when the next season comes, I think we're gonna change a few things as far as like the tiers because I know me and Gabby have been talking about adding some more content. We
Yeah,
have a bunch of like mini episodes that just never really made the cut to the podcast, to the full episodes. And so there's gonna be some fun things coming. And like I said, this hiatus I'm gonna work on YouTube and getting some visuals, and I have this vision, and I think it's gonna be really awesome to watch. So just bear with us, cause we really wanna get it out there.
yeah,
It's all coming. And I think that YouTube, I just have this feeling like once we start doing YouTube, I think that's gonna kind of push us even more as far as, like, expanding our reach and platforms, because that's a whole 'nother social media network we haven't even explored yet,
yeah,
and,
absolutely.
yeah.
I don't think we have, and I don't mean this in a humble way. Like I always want to remain like with my humility, but Caribbean makes me excited because I really appreciate the product that we've created. I think that it's a product that is high production, if I do say so myself. Um and well done and well curated. And I said it on my social media like weeks ago and I'm gonna say it again. I just think that we have something that could be the next big thing. And I believe that deep down inside.
I
And nobody
believe in
can.
our show too, you know?
Yeah, I
Out
believe
of
in
it.
it. It's a project that makes me so excited.
Me too, and I'm just excited to do more, and I'm excited to collaborate with people 'cause, we may have some really cool collaborations coming up in the future,
Yeah,
uh, but all this is very much, like, time consuming, and it's just, again, just us 2 and then with Vanessa's help as well.
yeah,
But, another thing we wanted to explore was kind of having a little segment of talking to Caribbean mystics, like other
mm,
Caribbean mystics that practice, whether it's Obeah or Santeria, Brujeria, or any kind of Caribbean spiritualism that
yeah,
have just some really interesting information or just want to chat, and expand the show a bit because that realm is super fascinating to me as well. And I love interviewing people. I think that's my favorite part of doing this show is like interviewing people.
yeah.
'Cause I'm just like nosy like that and like a nerd for it.
Well, Paulina be asking the people all their business.
I do.
Of their what color is your panty? Yeah.
No,
And
not that deep.
sometimes I'm like with Paulina doing the interviews and she be going and going and going. And I just be like,
Gabby's
please.
like, I just want to go.
Yeah, Paulina be there, like, filleting that story open, gutting the story to get every little detail, and when I see what we put together at the end and your editing, it all completely makes sense, and I'm always like, "Thank God for Paulina," because you
It
really
pays
get to make
off. I'm telling you, and I'll tell you why, is because there's always more to the story. So,
hey, you.
that's Paloma. She wanted to be involved. Want to say hi?
Hi, Paloma.
Mm, love you. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I think
Hello
that
is the reason why we had to wait a year and change to get you guys season 3.
yes. Oh,
She's like, "Yeah, that's right."
but yes, so this is the thing I found out with interviewing people is that there's always more to the story. Always. And they don't even know it themselves until I start questioning things. Like, wait, so how did this happen? Which, by the way, the last episode we did, I was supposed to have another interview with Crystal, but it didn't really work out with our schedules and time. So I've been kind of texting her on questions that I had. I was like, not that it's a damning question, but I was just curious. I'm like, so where did you get this frog? Because as I'm listening to the story, I was like, where'd they just pull out a frog? Like, was she outside hunting for it? Did she have to like go catch this frog? Like, and she said that her grandfather used to have property on the west side, and he would collect frogs there every time he was out there. So they had a collection of frogs for doing spells and magical workings right there at the house. So I guess she just reached into the frog box, the frog drawer, pulled out a frog, and yeah, did her
No.
thing.
So in the aftermath, I was talking to Teresa Furozayu, who listened to season 1. Teresa was the storyteller who gave the story that was called, I think,
Well, Hurricane Miracle.
Hurricane Miracle. Yeah, thank you. And so she's also a practitioner in Santeria. And she was explaining to me that like frogs have always been used for magical purposes in the tradition. And that essentially um one of the reasons why you would like sew a frog's mouth shut is to stop someone from talking. So it's almost like a spell to keep somebody silent about a particular situation. And I thought that was really interesting. I don't know if that's the reasoning behind why that was specifically done. Um, but I also wanted to put that out there. I'm sure there's a few different reasons of why someone would use that method of
Well,
spell work.
it's funny that you'd say that because Crystal was also telling me how her grandfather used to take these frogs and let them loose all outside the courthouse to keep, whoever's on trial, like their mouth shut. I was like, that's interesting. So
Yeah.
maybe they had a client that was going through some legal issues and someone was going to testify and they wanted them to shut their mouth. He would just let frogs loose around the courthouse.
Guys, we'll be hearing from Crystal again, I promise. We're gonna
Mhm.
pull Crystal for some more stories because literally every time you talk to her, she tells you more information and then you walk away with more questions than unsolved.
Yeah.
And so we're gonna swing her back. I expect to probably see her in season 4, which I'm super excited about for season 4 because Paulina and I already have like half the episodes already captured for season 4, if not more than half. Because we just got when we started this season, I feel like we got a flood of stories come in.
Mm.
Um, and so I think this is one of the first times we've actually been able to capture so much stories that we just couldn't release them all for this season.
Yeah, which is exciting because I think by season 2, we were just like scraping the barrel. Like, we're like,
Yeah.
something, you
Correct.
know?
For
And I think,
anybody? Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And now I'm excited. I think we're also going to interview Teresa for
Yeah.
our like Caribbean mystics. We got to give it a name, something, segment because like you said, like Gabby said, she practices Santeria and she's been listening to our show and she's like, yo, you didn't catch that part with a crystal? You didn't wait, I gotta tell you more about this and that. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay. And I mean, I think that's also what's expanded our minds as well for me and Gabby. Like, we know as much as we know, but like there's still stuff that's unknown to us and that
Mhm.
we are open to receiving and wanting to
Absolutely.
learn more. Like, I will never claim to be like
Expert.
an expert. Yeah, exactly. Nor do I consider myself a mystic, really. I'm more of like a nerd for all of this, the
Mhm.
occult and magic. Like, but so I'm always like open to receiving. I'm still a student in essence. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to talk to people that have just a higher knowledge and higher experience in this realm.
No, for sure. I am super excited for season 4. I think, and Paulina, correct me if I am misspeaking, but I think that we know that we're going to have season 4 in 2025, but a lot of the timing would depend on what network we choose to work with, because some networks encourage you to release multiple seasons a
Just
year.
be weekly. Yeah,
Yeah, or
like full
weekly.
time.
Yeah. And
And we
so
do weekly, yeah, but we're not a full-time podcast.
yeah. So
And
I think it would depend timing, but you can expect us for sure in 2025. We just don't have a time frame on that yet because working
I
with a
don't wanna
network
make
really,
promises either.
yeah. Working with a network is actually a really great opportunity for us because it's an opportunity to get extra help with like advertising and stuff, but also we get to expand our reach in a new way. And that's helpful to be able to grow the podcast. So we're excited for the opportunity to work with a network because it feels like it's the next step on the rung of getting Caribbean Mystics to a place of notoriety. It's just a matter of figuring out what network feels and what arrangement feels the most aligned.
Yeah, exactly. Let's maybe talk about some of you guys, our
Yeah.
listeners, huh? I've been loving the text us that's on Apple. And now
Yeah.
Spotify is doing like comments and reviews that you could write as well. And for some reason, I could have never found those until recently. So I just approve everybody's comments and likes and reviews on Spotify, which is strange. But anyways, um, I kind of wanted to acknowledge some of y'all's questions. So, I have a follower or a listener from Reston, Virginia, and I know you've written us a few times. Um, I'm curious about what happened to the following people. What happened to the mother and her baby boy in Child's Play? Were they able to leave all the darkness behind? What are her spiritual beliefs? What happened to Teresa and her 10-month-old son in Hurricane Miracle? And what happened to Alicia, from Good to Nature? Did she stay in St. John? Please let me know. Thank you. Well, thank you. I don't know your name because it doesn't tell us your name, but I guess we can start with, well, Teresa, we kind of just talked about.
Hmm.
I'm assuming her 10-month-old is grown now, a little bit
Yeah.
older.
I think
Maybe
her
you know
10-month-old
more.
is a man because that would have happened after Marilyn, and Marilyn was 1995. So that
Yeah.
baby, that 10-month-old is now a man. Teresa has since explored her spirituality and has um gotten into Santeria and is a
Mhm.
practitioner in Santeria. She reads tarot. She actually gave me a tarot reading back in March. That was incredible. And she does some interesting styled readings. So if any of you are interested, I highly suggest you check out Teresa's magical offerings.
Yeah.
This person, Child's Play, the mother
Well,
and
she actually has I also wanted to say about Teresa, she actually has a podcast of her own that she just
oh
started.
yeah,
It's not in the podcast platforms yet. I know she's working on that, but it's on YouTube. Um, we're gonna put it in our show notes because I don't know what the name of it off. Oh, it's called From Scratch, I believe. And we'll put it in our show notes.
yeah. No, that's definitely the name of it. Um,
Yeah.
and then
And you're gonna
the
hear from Teresa again. Like I said, we'll have her on the show.
sure. And she
Sorry,
actually
go
reached out to
ahead.
me. She reached out to me months ago and was like, "Hey, I have more stories. They're not from the Caribbean, so we'll probably put her on Patreon a few times.
Mm.
But we'll definitely have some stories from Teresa." In terms of the mother from Child's Play, she went on to have a daughter. So she had a son. She has a daughter, and she continues to live away in the States. But I don't know. I know that she said that she continues to have supernatural occurrences, but nothing like what she experienced in that house.
Mm. Yeah, I think with her as well, it was also a matter of like hereditary because as you guys remember, her mother was into Santeria, and it was like a family lineage deal. And that was also in our Patreon, the extended interview with her. All right, and who was the next person?
Um, yeah. Who is that?
Alicia. So Alicia still lives in St. John.
Alicia lives on St. John. She's properly integrated into the community. We love that for you, Alicia. Thank you. Um, yeah, I have her as a Facebook friend. Matter of fact, I have all these people as Facebook friends. My Facebook list
Yeah.
continues to grow larger the more people that we bring on the show. But Alicia's doing well.
From
She's
what we
enjoying,
see, yeah.
yeah, she's enjoying the island of St. John. And to be honest, I think that's her forever home. Based off of some of the things that she said to us, it feels like she intends to be there for the rest of her life.
And she's also involved in, so I think there's some building issues happening in Coral Bay on St. John, and she's part of the effort to kind of
Mitigate.
retract,
Yeah.
yeah, that building that's happening. They wanna build, in short, from what
A
I
mega
know,
yacht.
yeah, mega yacht marina on Coral Bay, which is like a pristine, beautiful, untouched area on St. John, like most of St. John. And of course, it's the issues of these very like rich and powerful people that want to come in and turn it into, another tourist trap,
Correct.
yacht
And
club.
and we appreciate that Alicia is a part of the effort because I think the native population agrees that it's not something that feels like it's in alignment with the community and where they see St. John go in. So I love that even though she's not from there, she's a part of the activism that is needed to course correct where the entire Virgin Islands, to be honest, is going. Um, yeah, was there anyone else that she wanted updates on?
No, that was
I will
pretty
tell
much all they mentioned.
I will tell you guys that Nicole from season 1, episode 4, Home Invasion,
Mm.
she's getting married on Friday and she's
Yeah.
pregnant. Yeah, she's getting married on Friday. I'm going to the wedding.
I'm jealous.
And I'm so excited. It's gonna be in the Grand Hotel. For those of you guys who don't know, the Grand Hotel is like such an old building on St. Thomas, hundreds and hundreds of years old. And it has such a rich history. And I actually have a video of an orb of light that was shared on our Instagram page. So you just gotta scroll back a bit. But it's an orb of light that was floating that their cameras caught. So like the hotel is known to have like strange phenomenon happen. So I'm super excited to be able to go there to experience that old-timey feel, but also so I could see Nicole get married.
Yeah, I'm jealous. She sent
Yeah.
me an invite, but I'm West Coast, 2
Yeah.
kids, and I'm
It's
going
like
in February for another wedding,
who's
and I
getting
just
married in February?
Spencer's stepmom and
Oh,
dad, so I couldn't make it work,
I
which
get
breaks
it.
my heart because, Nicole's a childhood friend, we grew up
Yeah.
together too, and
She was
but
our
I
first
wish
rookie.
she was.
She
Season
premiered in
1.
episode 5, but we recorded her first. It was Nicole's story. I listened to it when Paulina did all the, like, the bells and whistles editing. It was listening to Nicole's story that I realized Paulina and I had struggled with what we had created.
We got something.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
recorded that in her car,
Yeah.
in
It was
my
a
sister's
euphoric feeling.
in my sister's driveway in the car.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love it. It was a euphoric feeling listening to that first episode and listening to, like, all the, like, editing and being like, "Wow, we about to make it."
I already knew what it was gonna be like because I had this vision, and Gabby was like, "Okay," but I knew once you listen to that, she's like, "I see what you got, girl.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah,
well,
yeah.
yes, this is
Instant buy-in.
something."
Instant buy-in. But yeah, I will close out in saying that the season was fantastic, if I do say so myself. My favorite part was getting to connect with our community more. Um, with the
Me
email,
too.
got so many emails this season, the text messages, the messages on Instagram and Facebook and Patreon, and it was just the community makes me excited.
Me too, and, Actually, I did want to mention before we take off. So you're talking about the Grand Hotel. So I'm
Yeah.
going to be down in St. Thomas in February. I think me and Gabby are going to try to do a little bit of investigation in some of
Yes.
these places that were in our stories and some that weren't.
Yeah.
So, and I want to film it too. So we're going to put it on our story, the TikToks or whatever, our social medias. But
Yes.
we would love to, we're trying our best to go visit the vet's office.
Yes.
Um, I would like to go down Creaky's Alley personally.
We can.
The fort, maybe the Grand Hotel, just a couple of the hot spots with a lot of history and paranormal sightings. So Caribbean haunting, Caribbean ghost adventure. I don't know.
We're gonna have to figure it out. Like a good name, but something
Yeah.
that's in the podcast.
Yeah. Something that like captures people. Caribbean ghost investigation.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'd love to get someone on board that's a little bit more connected, like a medium or something,
Yeah.
to kind of like tag along. But we'll see. I'm only there for a short while. So
Yeah.
we're gonna do our best.
Guys, we love you, bud. And we thank you for being here.
Yes, and we will be back in full swing. We appreciate you guys, and we will see you season 4. Season
Oh,
4.
bye, guys.
Bye. Thank you for listening to Caribbean Mystics Podcast.
If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to share with your family and friends. Like, follow, and subscribe to keep up with all of our spooky Caribbean content.
Do you have a story you'd like to share that took place in the Caribbean? Email us at caribbeanmysticspodcast@gmail.com. That's caribbeanmysticspodcast@gmail.com. Or check the show notes for more info.
Caribbean Mystics is created and hosted by Paulina and Gabrielle. Theme song is Folktale Juve Rhythm by Umi Marcano.